Hello Gemini, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Gemini for the week of November 7th. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Gemini, let's go ahead and let's get a shuffle in here for you. Now I'm using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot as well as the Angel Answers Oracle deck. As always, there are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. Do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for future updates from me. And I'm going to be using a pyramid spread here. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. All right. So Gemini, we have a whole lot of stuff going on here in the past for you. Actually, we have a very interesting sort of message here. So we have two kings, two court cards, and we have this Empress, which you can sort of personify these three cards. In other words, they can take on the role of a person in your life. If it's not you, Gemini, each one of these cards could indicate a person in your life. Okay? And I do think that for some of you, there've been like a lot of talking heads. There've been a lot of sort of like what do they call it? Cooks in the kitchen. A lot of different people trying to tell you which way to go. Okay, and I do get the sense that some of you are looking to break free from that. You feel a little bit like overburdened by the amount of people right now showing up in some capacity in your life. I also think that for some of you, you really do like to have that support system, and that makes sense as well. Like you do really like to have a sense of community. You do really like to have a support system around you, which is like a totally normal thing. And if you do fall into some sort of challenge here or difficulty, I do think that you do have somebody to fall back on. I think there's kind of two storylines here, okay? So I think that there's two storylines here going on, which is I think some of you are feeling a little overburdened by the different opinions of others at this time. And then I think there's another storyline here where you feel very good about the people that you have in your corner. And they're opposite timelines, they're opposite messages here. But I'm sure there's also going to be some other messages, so let's just dive in. So in the overall situation, you have the King of Wands, which the King of Wands, I love this card. It can be obviously any fire sign such as Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, but this can also, if this is you, Gemini, the King of Wands, this is somebody who is totally passionate about what they do for their career, and they live their life in passion. If they don't love what they do, if they're not, aligned with what they're doing, they're not going to do it. It's as simple as that. And, the King of Wands is definitely somebody that is definitely a card that you love to see if you are here for business, because this person essentially has the gift of being able to do whatever it is that they want for their career. Because not only are they passionate, but they're also talented. They're also skilled. And, so I definitely like to see this for you here. Now, in the past, you have the Empress and the King of Pentacles, okay? So the Empress is the mother archetype in the tarot. So remember I said how these three cards, we can personify these three cards in some ways. Well, this would potentially show up as your mother in the tarot if it's another person. The King of Wands, therefore, might be somebody who is an earth sign. This also might be somebody who is a leader in business as well. Different though, okay? The King of Pentacles and the King of Wands, they can both be leaders in the workplace or in business, but in different ways. The King of Pentacles might be somebody who is an investor, a real estate agent, somebody who's in real estate, or they could be the boss of the company or the boss of the workplace, but they would do it in a different way. They are routine led. That's the difference here. This person is led by their routines and their structures versus the King of Wands, passion, talent, ability. Hopefully you understand that. So some of you could be dealing with people that have these attributes, these qualities, these characteristics about them at this time, you could also be stepping into this energy, okay? You could also have been stepping into this energy here in the past. Now, I like the Empress and the King of Pentacles if we're not attaching these cards to people, because the Empress is the most abundant card. You can see the Empress here is surrounded by abundance. In this picture, they're also associated with the planet Venus, which is about beauty, love, but also the finer things in life, luxury, living a life of luxury. And you have this King of Pentacles who's also surrounded by abundance. And they actually live in the castle. Castles in tarot represent rewards and riches. And this person has really climbed the ladder of success in finance and career. And so you do have some really nice energy here for business, for career, for finance in the past. I do also think that there are a lot of different people here showing up. And I do want to see what cards clarify to see, how that also factors into factors into this reading, because I said that I intuitively, I do feel like there's kind of this dual storyline here going on. Now, in the future, you have the you have the Five of Pentacles and you have the Ten of Wands here. So this is a burden, okay? There's no other way for me to put this. The Five of Pentacles, Ten of Wands might literally be a financial burden, okay? I don't like to put negative vibes out there. If you watch my readings, you know that. But, this is a classic combination of that. Now, here's the thing. If we're looking at this in a much more positive way, many, many times I see that the Ten of Pentacles be associated with your mindset, causing you to have some type of burden. So these people feel like they're left out in the cold, but the reality is that they could go inside this church and get help, right? The church behind them, they could easily go get help. Again, you do have people here that I feel like are willing to help you. And so many times this might be a mindset issue. The Ten of Wands, while it is a burden, while this person is carrying a heavy load, the universe chose them to carry this for a reason. And along with that, this person is completing a task. The tens in tarot represent completions. And so there is something that's being closed out here, or that is closing out here for you. Let's go ahead and let's take a look here and move up the pyramid. So we have the Two of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands. Okay, so this is interesting. So I said, remember, all right, so let's take a look here, right? So we have the Two of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles coming in to kind of clarify these three people cards. Well, we have another person coming in, the Queen of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. This is a counterpart in the tarot. Some of you could be dealing with family stuff here. I don't think it's bad, okay? I really don't think it's bad. But I do think maybe somebody's parents are involved here, or your grandparents, or maybe you are parents yourself. You're watching this and you're parents. And some of you are trying to figure out what to do with something. There's clearly a situation here where your finances are very much being highlighted here. Okay, there's this one timeline in this story, in this this reading, this story, whatever you want to call it, storyline, reading, whatever you want to call it. There's one timeline here that is, somebody here is very much kind of juggling a financial situation here. Okay, the Two of Pentacles can indicate money coming in, money coming out. It can indicate needing to kind of keep all the plates in the air, kind of juggle different tasks and priorities, manage expectations, manage finances, manage the books, so to speak. That can be heavily associated here with that Two of Pentacles. And you have it here with the King and the Queen of Pentacles, but you also have another two with it, which Two of Wands is like deciding. It's a decision between two paths, two wands, two decisions, double message there, two opportunities. This person's actually thinking about overseas travel, interestingly enough. The Three of Wands, which comes after the Two of Wands, would be initiating the travel. But this person's actually contemplating it here, as you see that they have the globe in the palm of their hand. And they're kind of looking out to sea there. And so it is interesting. It is possible that some of you are maybe contemplating a move of some sorts, and you're trying to figure out, you're taking a very logical, rational approach to this, which is like, I need to figure out the money side of it. And so that could certainly be the case for some of you. I also think that some of you are torn between, like, okay, somebody's given you information and given you opinion on what you should do, and then somebody else has given you opinion and information on what you should do. And then there's this third storyline, which is like, you also have your own information and your opinion. So I feel like you're managing the expectations of others as well, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, I think there's a group of people that have an expectation for you. There's another group of people that have expectations, but then you also need to decide what is best for you. And, you know, so I think that there's something like this here going on, because Two of Pentacles can also be like weighing options. Okay, so there's a lot of optionality here. There's a lot of going back and forth. There's a lot of weighing of things here for you in this week. The Eight of Wands, you know, this can indicate like swift news coming in from a distance. Like I'm talking like good news. Okay, Eight of Wands indicates good news. It is another card of travel, and travel by air, travel by flight. But typically it's something moving ahead. It's a breakthrough card. Okay, it's a very positive card from my perspective. Let's go ahead and let's get some more details here. Interesting reading that we have. So can we get, all right, we'll take these two. Okay, so let's take these two first that came out. So interesting. Ask your angels and a year from now. Ask your angels and a year from now. Okay, I don't think this is a year from now. What I think this is talking about is something in 2023, which is right around the corner, right? Less than 2 months away. I think that this is about something connected to 2023 in whatever reason, for whatever reason. And I do think that some of you are maybe going through that right now. You're trying to figure out what to do here. Very clearly with the Ask Your Angels card, but then the Two of Wands, all the different people. I do think that this is showing up as a burden for you. And then I also feel like the guides are just like, the spirit guides are just like, listen, you need to do what you need to do. And, you know, if you feel very strong, you know, pulled very strongly in a certain direction here, then with this If You Believe card, you should go for it, you know. I can't tell you what to do. I can't make the decision for you, but you know, I'm a big proponent. I'm an advocate for you, Gemini. I'm an advocate for you. So, you know, that's what I'll say, which is, you know, I think the best things in life are when we make our own decisions. And, you know, I think that almost always leads to the best outcome from my experience when we make our own decisions. And, you know, I think that that's what's showing up here. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. So we have the Nine of Cups. We have the Strength card and the Ace of Swords. All right, so you actually have the two breakthrough cards in the future half of this reading with the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Major breakthrough cards in the tarot. So whatever's going on here with this Five Pentacles, Ten of Wands, burden, you know, feeling left out type deal, feeling like there's no help, no hope, that's going to change like with the snap of a finger, or it's like a light switch that's flipping on here. And I bumped the camera there in excitement. And so whatever's going on with that, I do think that this is clearly being worked through, being processed here, and you'll find the solution to the problem here. And it might come in through a download of information, through a dream, through maybe even just a really healthy conversation with somebody as well. You have this Nine of Cups, which represents wishes and dreams being fulfilled in the tarot. It's a major sign of positivity and happiness. And, you know, I do think that for some of you here, you do have this goal in mind. And I do think that ultimately you should go after your goal. Okay. And so, in other words, I think that there are people, like I said at the beginning, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many hands in the cookie jar, whatever it's called. Like, some people are saying, no, you should go over here. Some people are saying, no, you should go over here. But you have this dream. You have this goal in mind. You should do that. Okay? Again, I can't decide for you, but this is what's happening here with the cards. This is what's showing up in the cards. So, and the Strength card, you know, this is just, again, a doubling down of like, you need to make, you need to be brave and stand strong in your decision in whatever decision that is for you. Whatever decision you try to you make, you need to stand strong in that energy. You have the Five of Wands, and you also have the World. So wow, definitely conflicts and tensions, inner tensions here, or tensions between you and I think other people. And again, it might not even be an outward conflict. We do have this Mars Gemini. So Mars is in Gemini and is retrograde. Mars is a planet that can be associated with arguments, disagreements, conflicts, and it's in your sign, Gemini. So, you know, certainly there could be conflicts with others here, but at the same time, this could also be an inner conflict, I think pretty heavily for some of you because of the nature of this reading, which is about deciding. Okay, I think some of you are, conflicted internally about a decision. You know, the World represents a completion, a big completion, and we have this Ten of Wands and the World here in the future half or the future position. So you will be completing something. Interestingly enough, it is another travel card, okay, with the Eight of Wands and the World, and it would be longer term travel or some sort of like long distance travel, international travel, something like that here. The World's a card that's associated with international anything. You know, in a love reading, it would mean that maybe you're dating somebody on a different continent or in a different country. But this isn't about dating. So, you know, hopefully you understand. But this is about some sort of like longer term situation that you are deciding on that I think that you will successfully find the solution to your problem around. Because this is showing up as a burden for you. Okay, you do have the Six of Pentacles here, which is this idea of balancing out, right? It's the idea that the act of giving is just as important as receiving, which some of you are receiving information, but I also think that you need to balance that out with your own information, okay? And I do think that that is certainly the case here. Now you have the Hierophant on the bottom. This is anything that is traditional. It could be a marriage, but it could also be the place that you work, but it could also just be traditional people in your life as well. Like I do feel like for some of you, there's something that some of you are torn between like conforming and not conforming here, right? And I think that this is probably, the other thing about the Six of Pentacles is it's weighing. It's a weighing energy as you see the scales. And again, I told you with the 2 2s here, you're weighing. And so I think this is pretty heavy for you, but overall, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's because you care about the decision that you're making. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. And I will see you in the next reading.